Provo, Utah. This is the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast with your hosts, Joseph DeGolier, me, and Caleb Schweiss. This is Ultima Final Fantasy. Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. I am Joe.
And I am Caleb.
And today we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII Retcons.
Oh, yes. There are plenty of them, as you diehard fans will know.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII, I believe, just like the game with the most spin-offs and sequels and shit. And, of course, with spin-offs and sequels, sometimes mistakes and or purposeful rewriting.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's done.
It's true. And then, I don't know, a lot of it's just little stuff, though. Just like, oh, this happened in this order in the scene. But there's some things that, like, they probably should have known and sort of expect to get right. So,
yeah. So we'll definitely get into that. Caleb, where are you in Final Fantasy X-2?
I played about an hour and 15 minutes of it. I was really sleepy, and we, of course, did a pre-recorded interview episode with Mr. Parham, who we've owed an episode to forever. And so I started a bit late. I'm like on the second or third mission right now.
Okay. It's
all right. The battle system is growing on me, but man, the beginning is just so campy. It's like, it's pain. It is painful. There's like an hour long of me playing it. The first 30, 40 minutes is just, it's rough, man. It like makes me want to die, but everyone says it's great, so we'll get into it.
Yeah, I have not braved starting the game again yet. This week, final week of school / me moving out of Cody's place. If any of you guys ever listen to Getting Fat, that's it's over now. Me and Cody are done. And I'm moving all my stuff up to my parents' place, and then I'm going to move back down at the end of the summer. So I can live in some regular student housing for the last 2 semesters that I'm in school, and I don't need nearly as much stuff as I had with me, which I'm regretting having anything ever, because it took me like 3 trips, an hour and a half drives up to my parents, then back. So I had one heck of a week, but yeah, my console's not even set up. Like, my PS3 is not set up.
It's still shelved.
It's in actually, it's still in my apartment. There's still a couple things at the apartment. My TV, those consoles, and then I have movie posters and a desk.
Oh, nice.
Still at my apartment.
So a little too busy to start the 10-2.
A little too busy to start the 10-2, also dreading it.
Yeah?
Yeah, frankly.
Well, I mean, after Dirge, though, can you really dread the future? Like, that's kind of
what can I do for you?
That's kind of the low point of.
You know what? You know how many times I've heard that song?
Too many?
Maybe twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that too many, then?
And yet I know the tune.
So it's really catchy, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Oh,
that's a problem.
God.
That song is that song is awful, dude.
I know.
It's awful.
I know.
I've
listened to it more recently than you. I know.
I don't want to put the disc into the drive.
That part is probably not even the worst part of the beginning, though. There's another part that's.
Okay, what's worse? I played the beginning. So
there's the part where Yuna like flies into the scene and then like comes in and then they all like shoo, shoo, shoo.
Oh yeah, the like Charlie's YRP. Angel thing.
Yeah, I was like, no. I was like, God damn it! I thought we were done with this with the intro, but no, we're far from fucking done.
Show me your moves. I remember that line.
Yeah.
There's the one lady with the weird fucking like
LeBlanc.
Yeah, with like the neckline that goes all the way down to her pubic hair.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, Christ. we will play it though. And, I mean, try to reserve judgment. It's just there's no denying the beginning part is an atrocity, especially after the beauty of 10. Although I do see some character development with Yuna kind of accepting that she's a new person now. So I can see
now that she's a pop star.
Now that she's a pop star, yeah. But it's so that
Pop
I guess,
star sphere hunter.
So that's kind of moving in a good direction for her character, at least. But I don't know.
Is it a good
see.
direction though?
Well, it's a stronger direction for her. It's not one I necessarily approve of, but it's what it is. So,
oh god, dude, I'm dreading it. Like today, I'm dreading it. Like I know that tonight I will I got my dad's truck with me, so I'm gonna bring up the last of that stuff. And I know that the TV will be there at the place, and the PS3 will be staring at me, ready to receive me.
ooh,
Ready to receive 10-2, and I just don't want to put it through that much pain.
yeah.
Or my psyche, frankly.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's got a good rating though. We looked it up on Metacritic. It's got like an 85. That's close to 13. I mean, how bad can it really be? I don't answer that. But
It can be bad.
it can, yeah. It can.
Yeah, I mean, this is subjective, so mine and your experiences could be very bad compared to others.
True.
Maybe other people just choke down the
camp.
Charlie's Angels J-pop thing.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, do you want to?
Jesus, dude. Yeah, let's do some plugs real quick before we get to your email.
All right.
YouTube.com/Ultimate Final Fantasy, where you can see all our archived videos. Us playing Final Fantasy 11 is still on there.
Oh yeah.
And I would like to
original
say that
streams.
like there is an amazing moment when Caleb is playing Final Fantasy 11, and we had aggroed just the largest group of things we'd ever aggroed. And they do not stop. And Caleb is running from them, and it's hilarious. And I think we all died.
We all did.
We all died that day.
No one made it out.
Yeah, and that video is still on there. We need to like highlight that thing or something.
Yeah, I gotta figure out a way to do that.
You can tweet me at Joseph DeGolier.
Tweet me and the show at UFF Podcast.
You can go to Facebook.com/Ultimate Final Fantasy. There you can tell us if our website's down and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of our mode of contact for when we're running into problems with the site, but it's been pretty good so far. There's been some moments where it's gotten a little slow, but I don't know, it's getting easier to take care
I am
of it.
seriously considering talking to the DGM department at UVU and being like, does anybody want a senior project for web development? Because I got a whole network of shows that all need like a website that works smoothly.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Oh, I know it's a good idea, but like I feel like we need to be like a real company and not just like two dudes with a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can try to figure something out. Maybe we can bullshit it, sell it to them that way. But yeah, you guys can find me mostly, but us live weekly at twitch.tv/Ultimate Final Fantasy. You get all our playthroughs, our Let's Plays, our, fun stuff.
Yeah, and of course, everything can be found at ultimatefinalfantasy.com. It's kind of right now, it's a place where like all of our podcasts call home, but it's mostly Ultimate Final Fantasy. So
yeah, it's by far our biggest show.
Join the forums there, ask questions. There's areas to ask questions, give us corrections, and all sorts of stuff. And Schweiss, our other shows, Nude Clan, Godzilla Podcast, Super Sexy Swinging Fan Fiction. You can find them on iTunes. Go check them out.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
All right, so what is this, Schweiss?
This is not what I want to talk about first, but this is.
Oh.
All right, so we got an email a little while ago by a guy named Vivi Uribe. And he said, "Hi, Caleb and Joe. My name is Vivi, and I'm working with the San Francisco Symphony on their Summer with the Symphony concerts. Wanted to reach out and tell you about the Final Symphony music from Final Fantasy 6, 7, and 10, the three best Final Fantasies." On Wednesday, July 27th, the San Francisco Symphony will share the stage with the famous and uber god of music, Nobuo Uematsu, at the Davies Symphony Hall in San Francisco, and will perform the music from 6, 7, and 10. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, he basically asked us to let you guys know about it. There's a website up. If you just search Final Symphony music from Final Fantasy, well, just Final Symphony, I think you'll find it, and you can order tickets there. I think it was like, I don't know, $50 for pretty decent seats. Last time I looked, I was like, oh, that'd be fun, but that is a long, long ways. We do have flights directly out of Provo too.
They're actually not that expensive.
No, the tickets are pretty cheap. And, I mean, if you want to go see Uematsu and this symphony play, I mean, I think it'd be fantastic.
Most of our listeners are in California, so they can probably make it.
Yeah, they can probably just drive or walk.
That's probably not true. But, okay. Well, yeah, now you guys know. Now you guys know that there's a concert out there. Schweiss, we got news today, don't we?
We got a couple articles, I suppose.
All right, well, let's get to it. News.
Oh, yeah. So I was just fucking with you guys. We have a ton of news. So first up,
by the way, thank you to everybody who sent us news.
Yes,
Shinra especially.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy 15 is holding a Chocobo-themed Twitter contest. And I guess they're looking for followers for the official Japanese Twitter account. And they get prizes and shirts unlocked. It's like a random giveaway, I think. So you can look at them. They've got like some weird little designs. This one looks like it's from Eco. That one does too.
You want to click on the Twitter account. I'm going to add them.
Where is it? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, they got a link there. Okay, so they're at FFXVJP.
Yes. So go on there and see if you can win some other shit. Seems kind of cool.
Yeah.
So another interesting tidbit that I was a little worried about earlier when I pulled this article up was Lightning returns Final Fantasy XIII's Outer World services to shut down before today, April 26, 2016.
So I was a little scared because, you know, like one of the things with Final Fantasy III was that you had to send messages on the DS to other DSs. And I was thinking with trophies, like, oh, please, God, hopefully they didn't, like, do that thing where they have a trophy based upon their very specific...
Yeah, their online thing.
Online bullshit.
Yeah, online trophies are unfair.
Yeah.
But, no.
Luckily, yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially a communications feature that the game has where you can show off you can show off your lightning and... snapshots. I guess you can take pictures in the game, certain scores, and then you can sell items off. So really it's not we're not really missing out on much, but it's kind of unfortunate that we won't ever get to experience it either. Like, it's so close too. After 10 we have we got
all
11,
the 11 expansions,
and then the 12, but then 13 too, and then we would have experienced this.
Yeah.
Now
actually after 13.2 it's 15, which
most
I think
likely,
it's going to be a 3-monther, pretty sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You slow fuck.
Dude, it's in the middle of whatever. All right.
No one wants to
You're
hear
going to
it.
start doing the don't cry, Azu bullshit when I start talking
I need to
again.
pull in the other don't cry part. The don't cry laws.
Don't cry, lass.
So another interesting thing about FF15, the Justice Monsters 5, that little game that they're having in the game, it's supposedly supposed to be on Android. The iOS version is going to launch in June, and the Windows 10 version is at some point in the summer. And there's already been 90,000 people who've registered for it. But the most important part about the FF15 news today is they're producing, or producer, as this article foolishly says, 10,000 more copies of Final Fantasy XV's Ultimate Collector's Edition.
Woohoo!
And
Do you think they've run out yet?
I don't know. I doubt it. This was posted on the 21st. So.
I do not see Justice Monsters in the Play Store.
I didn't see it in the Google store either, so I don't know.
Yeah, bullshit.
It's supposed to be, but it is not. So yeah, if you guys haven't already, try to grab that Ultimate Edition of Final Fantasy 15.
Are you going to grab it, Schweiss?
I don't know, dude. That's so much fucking money. That's $300 for a game. It is the ultimate version.
Can you be the ultimate host, though, and not get that?
I don't know. I mean, that would just cement it. But so do you remember a few weeks ago when we talked about the 7-Eleven items that Final Fantasy XIV was releasing over in Japan?
Yes, I do remember.
So apparently they're in talks to bring those items to North America.
I don't think that's a good idea.
You don't think it'll work?
I think it would cost them and 7-Eleven a lot of money. And I don't know exactly, like...
They have been selling out over there, but that is kind of
It's more tight-knit, like...
It's not really something you think we'd get into.
Maybe, like, they know where their subscribers are, so maybe regionally there are going to be areas with more Final Fantasy players than others.
Yeah.
We know this based upon our podcast downloads where the Final Fantasy fans are at.
Yeah, that's true.
The West Coast, mostly. Let's see, what are our top states? It's like California, New York, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Which is like, what? And Utah, of course. I think the Provo makes some Utahns come in and listen. But, otherwise I think we'd probably be with the Wyoming, Nevada range, which do we even still have any downloads in Wyoming?
I don't know. I think we do. I think we have them everywhere, but so I don't know. I'm not sure if that'll go over well, but we'll let you guys know if something is worked out. So
yeah, I would buy stuff.
We already do buy drinks, so why not buy drinks to get 14 content?
There you go.
So the Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15 is going to premiere in Japanese theaters on July 9th.
Oh, so it's going to be released in theaters. That's nice.
Yeah, over there. There's like a really short trailer that's available on Silicon Era.
Yeah, it's a teaser, and we got a lot more stuff out of the 15.
Yeah, the actual 15 deal. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was like, what? But whatever. 30 seconds of my life gone. So you guys remember also, this is like a fucking throwback. This is the FF9 of news. The Final Fantasy 11 mobile version. You remember they were talking about releasing that. It was Square Enix and Nexon that were partnering up to deliver that game. And
they weren't sure what it was going to be, but they had something.
Right, yeah. So it's going to be released this year. And they're saying they're promising that they're going to put 11's compelling storyline, engaging content, and impressive graphics while optimizing features for smartphone and mobile devices to create an immersive, responsive, and dynamic experience for mobile users. I don't know what version of 11 they played, but I don't remember some of that shit. But so
they're coming back to improve 11.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So if you're interested in playing 11 on a mobile device, keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah, I got to say, we make fun of 11 a lot, but out of all the Final Fantasies that we played, it's been the one where it's like, I'm kind of excited to get back into that one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That one's...
Which is not so, because that game is bullshit. Like... there's no less forgiving game that we've had to play. Maybe you with FF1. Your version of FF1 was pretty bad.
It was rough, yeah. And then the last thing we have is there's a shitload of new stuff for Final Fantasy 14. If you guys want to hear more about that, I'm sure Limit Break Radio will talk about it forever.
So much stuff.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a new pre-beta gameplay for video for FF15. Looks like Game Informer got to play a little bit of it. It looks pretty good.
At this point, it's almost like I don't want them to release any more information for 15.
You just want them to let it sit?
Yeah.
Just get the movie, get the little
do a couple
anime.
Trailers like 3 weeks before it comes out, but...
Yeah, it is kind of weird. I mean, the way they're releasing this game is like nothing I've ever seen before.
They're really amping it up.
Well, there's that. There's the demo where they get feedback and then they change the game based on the demo feedback. And it's like, no, they're not even changing the game. They changed the demo based on the feedback from the previous version of the demo. They're
so afraid of having a dud, which I guess 13 for fans was kind of a dud. In general, people love 13. I think it's better than people think it is.
Yeah.
And 14, of course, being the world's biggest dud, the original 14.
Yes, yeah, 1.0.
It's Square's trying to revitalize their biggest franchise, frankly. And I guess the way that they're doing is they're actually listening to fans this time around instead of doing their own thing. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's even then, though, it's really odd to me just because the amount of importance they're placing on what we think about it before it comes out is just kind of strange. Like, I've never, ever seen a game released this way. Not that I follow games from, like, their conception to release date very often, but it just seems really strange. And, like, they're, like, walking on eggshells almost.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it would almost seem better to just, like, fuck it, let's put out the game and work on 16. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they are, yeah.
Well, they need. I think.
I wonder
they need
what their sales goal is for 15. I wonder exactly like how many copies it needs to sell in order to make up for their investment.
Yeah, I mean, we got that one 10 million figure, or 8 million, I think, something like that. But that was
they want
redacted,
10
so.
million. It doesn't mean that that's what they need to sell
Yeah.
in order to make money off of the game.
Maybe that's just what they need to sell to pay.
And we know
for
they're going to
16.
make. I know that they're going to sell 40,000 copies of the $300 version.
Yeah.
So I don't know like how much money that would bring them back.
Yeah, we don't know what the cost associated with that is. I mean, obviously it's going to be a lot higher than the standard game itself, but it must be worth it as a business decision, or they wouldn't be doing it. So
Must be.
unless it's an actual giving back moment, but I don't know about that.
All right, Schweiss. Well, shall we talk about Final Fantasy VII Retcons?
Yeah, please.
So before we get started, a gigantic thank you to FF7Citadel.com, who has put together all of the retcons that they could find in the Final Fantasy VII universe.
And we may or may not be reading it from that site.
We're definitely reading it from this site. So if you guys want to check out FF7 Citadel, I'm sure you guys already know about the website. It's a very popular Final Fantasy.
It's got a lot of good stuff in it.
fan site. Yeah, it has a lot of information that I wish that I could come up with, but other people already have. So
Yeah.
I was doing like searches while trying to like start this episode, and I was like, oh, please, God, tell me I don't have to look for every single one of these. And then there was this beautiful webpage with every single one just listed down.
Yeah, and some of them we're going to debate, but, you know,
Yeah.
it's a pretty solid list.
So they have divided up the different retcons, and if you guys don't know what retcons are, they're retroactive continuity. It's kind of like if you do a sequel and you change something that happened in the previous piece of media or the prequel to it, then that's called retconning. Like you're retroactively changing details about the story.
Right, about the original source material.
And they have kind of like three classes for their retcons. They have pure addition retcons, which, according to them, cover retcons that fit neatly in with the original FF7 canon, that don't contradict anything.
Right, so like extra story, stuff that wasn't said in 7, but it wasn't not said either.
Right.
So it's like...
And so it like...
It's not disproven, so
to them,
works.
it doesn't matter quite as much. They have another class that's debatable additions. So covering retcons that may or may not contradict the original FF7's canon, depending on personal interpretation.
Ooh.
And then 3... They're level 3, they're class 3 contradictions, which are pure contradictions, covering retcons that do contradict the original FF7's canon.
Oh boy, what do we got? What do we got first up here?
So Advent Children.
Ooh, our favorite.
So yeah, our favorite movie of all time, and if you're a Patreon donor, you know. So it says it has no real pure additions, a debatable addition, a class 2 addition that Sang is alive.
Right, in which we have found out via our interview with Daniel Burke. It was supposed to be in the actual game, but it was lost in translation. The FF7 Sang was supposed to survive. So it did throw me off when I watched the movie for the first time. I was like, what in the fuck? That guy was in the temple and it like imploded. He's dead. He's like a tiny crushed up motherfucker at the bottom of that pit. But yeah, so this is why it's a class 2.
I guess he made it out.
Debated.
There you go.
Yeah, they originally were going to have a scene with him getting taken out, but I don't know. I'm cool with that one.
So check out this class 3 one. Kate Sith riding Red 13 in the flashback scene of the final battle in the Northern Crater.
Okay.
As opposed to riding a giant robot Moogle, which I'm surprised we haven't seen anything out of. How come they've taken that out?
I don't know, because it's dumb, I guess.
Well, yeah, because Kate Sith by itself is not dumb already.
Well, he's a little cat. Like, that's fine.
It's a cat robot on top of a Moogle robot.
Yeah. That is kind of weird. The cat robot. So is the cat robot a sentient being? Because it is controlling the other robot. Why would Reeve have a robot controlling a robot rather than just control the Mog?
So the Mog is maybe more mechanical and the cat is more AI?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's freaky. I don't like that.
I don't like this at all.
Scares me.
I am wondering, though, like, did they think, like, people wouldn't... No, people won't take the cat riding a Moogle seriously, but they will take a cat riding a cat seriously.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I see that all the time.
Yeah, with a Scottish accent, mind you.
Yes. So,
what thought goes into that?
I don't know. It's really weird. Like the whole Moogle thing. It almost seems like they wanted to have a Moogle in the game, like a Mog.
Yeah, they needed
doll.
a Moogle in the game, so
and
they
that's
did.
that. Yeah, that's like
what they did to fit it into the FF7 kind of darkness.
Yeah, because other than that, there's not anything.
There's not a place for it to.
Yeah, there's stuff in Crisis, but
yeah. It is a weird retcon, and I don't think I've ever noticed that. It's like, yeah, he is riding Red 13 in that.
Maybe he
that
just got tired of the
flashback.
Stupid fucking robot, and he's like, you know what, I'm just going to ride you, dude.
But for the Northern Crater part.
Yeah, that's true.
But some people have if you play FF7 with him in your party, he's going to be on top of a Moogle robot.
Yeah, he is. They didn't take it away.
So another class 3, Kadaj using blue or green materia instead of red to summon a Bahamut monster.
I think I mentioned that when we were watching it last.
You did.
I was like, what is with the color of that?
You did mention that, and it's almost as if the color... How important is that, though? Like, really? It's kind of like the draw points in FF8. It's almost like an in-game sort of thing, as in it's made for the game's function and not necessarily the story's
So
function.
it doesn't manifest itself in actuality, but only to us as a consumer.
Right. That's how I kind of see it. Like, the color of the materia doesn't really matter. That we just know that there's things called materia, and for us, when we're searching through the menu, we know the red ones are summons.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be true. That could be said about a lot of stuff, but I don't know. That one is a bit of a
That
stretch.
one would require some kind of scientific background to materia, which I am definitely sure they're never going to provide.
All right, fair enough. I don't really. Yeah, that one doesn't really bother me. I did notice it though, and I was like, why would they do that?
It is a straight up contradiction, though.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's strange. So
Yeah. So we're not going to include the last order ones.
Yeah, none of that counts
because it's not official canon.
Do we want to consider Before Crisis part of it too, though? Because we don't really know jack
Before
about
Crisis is canon. We can talk about it.
All right, fine. All right, so we got some tier ones here. The first is the existence of the Turks prior to FF7, other than Sang, Reno, and Rude.
So there's more. Yeah, in 7, it does seem like there's kind of like the group.
Yeah, and there's
and
in
those
this
are
one,
the Turks.
In this one, there's like Cisne, and then there's another girl that they thought when we were reviewing Crisis Core, I can't remember what her name was, but they thought she was Cisne. But then Cisne appeared in Before Crisis as well. So they do have just random members of the Turks.
Yeah. So you're better at this FF7 lore stuff than I am, and in general lore stuff, because I never really get into it that much. But so with the Turks, are the Turks like a functional member of the military? Like, are they a class unto themselves? Because I always thought they were kind of like this gang almost that worked under Shinra, and they just called themselves the Turks or whatever.
I think of them as like the special forces of Shinra. So it's like their Navy SEALs, basically. Like the guys who go in and make sure shit gets done.
Are they special forces or are they Navy SEALs?
Well, Navy SEALs are technically...
They are part of the... what is it? Because it's Navy SEALs, Special Forces, and Rangers are all under a thing in the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all like special stuff. Special ops is what they are.
Special ops, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what
Special Forces is what my dad was. He's a Green Beret. He's Special
Oh.
Forces. That's not a Navy SEAL.
Oh, I thought they were all just special forces.
No, they're all special ops, I think.
Oh,
But
well.
they're all part of that like higher tier sneak in before a war actually happens.
Yeah, that's kind of what I view the Turks as. And
Okay.
They are almost like a gang of a-holes. It's like the whole theory of you get like 4 Marines in a room and they're just a bunch of like the ultimate douche kind of an idea. I think that's kind of what the Turks give off.
I looked at them as like the mafia.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had a
Even
total
more
different
intense?
view.
You know, there's
kind of a more relaxed view, actually. Not necessarily a battle view, but like a sneaking around doing other things that may not be in Shinra's best interest, but maybe in the Turks' best interest.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I didn't see them as someday I wish to be a soldier, but I was recruited into the Turks instead. Like, I don't see it as a official thing, but maybe it is. I don't know enough about the FF7 lore.
It is an official thing within Shinra, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is just they're just better. Like, I don't think they want to be soldiers for sure. I think they're in like the cush spot, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe it is a
little bit more white collar.
Yeah, maybe it is the ultimate form of the Shinra, other than the president, but that's a shitty position because they die all the time.
There was a thing added in Before Crisis. Apparently, Calm was destroyed in the past.
Okay.
Okay. Rufus being a secret benefactor to Avalanche.
What?
That's very interesting. These are all... I don't know how many of our listeners have played Before Crisis, but I'm pretty sure you could count them on one hand. So if you have anything to say about this, please give us an email or something. The powerful summon materia Zirconide and the 4 support materia used to help summon it.
Yeah, that doesn't exist in 7.
No.
And then Veld being a past colleague of Vincent's. That must be someone from Before Crisis.
It must be.
Because I have never heard that name in my life.
Class 2, Yuffie first learns about materia, which may or may not contradict it's saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
She goes around stealing materia as a child, though.
In 7, yeah. This is supposed to be before Crisis Core.
But that was... Crisis Core was 3 years in the past, right? She's 16, so she would have been 13.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was she first learn about materia then?
No, I think materia...
Is materia common knowledge, though, in Final Fantasy VII universe?
Well, Barrett didn't know how to use it in 7.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe not.
It's not.
I could see that, I guess.
That's very interesting. An oxygen tank gets stolen from Shinra number 26 shortly before the launch. I don't know. That one sounds like it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah. I don't know why that. Yeah, I don't know why that would matter.
And apparently the Turks have a secondary division.
That's definitely not in there. All right, so number 3, a Turk being present in Nibelheim during Sephiroth's mission there 5 years before 7. That's true. That's definitely not there.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, well, FF7 cutscenes just couldn't handle the extra characters or whatever.
Yeah.
But we know that that's not the case. Like, we know that they just added it in for story.
Yeah, that one's, I don't know why they would do that. I don't know what purpose that would serve. And it sucks because we don't fucking know because we don't have this game.
And Nanaki having a female companion named Dine, at least a year before FF7.
Yeah, that doesn't fit his character really at all. Okay.
All right, you ready for Dirge of Cerberus?
Oh, this is a biggie. Yeah, I'm ready for Dirge.
Okay, these are pure additions. The existence of deep ground under Midgar's surface.
True, yeah, that wasn't there.
The deep ground soldier program, as well as the Sviets. Yep, none of that was in the original 7, that's for sure. More extensive details about Vincent, Lucretia, and Hojo's past, primarily Lucretia's research on Omega and Chaos, and her guilt regarding the Valentines.
Yes, Vincent's father, Grimoire Valentine.
Yeah, the Shera's ancient origins.
Okay. Reeve and Lucretia's last names, which I don't remember.
Neither do I. At one point, the WRO Peacemaker mentions her brother, who was a member of the Avalanche, during the time of the Midgar reactor bombings, hinting that she was the sister of either Biggs or Wedge.
See, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You remember that chick, though? I think it was the one in that mission that I was telling you about. She was like, I was born in Midgar. And she like kept going on, and I was like, you're going to die in Midgar, too. And she fucking died, and I loved it. She would not shut the fuck up.
I don't find problems with the pure additions. I really don't.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the cool part about a sequel.
Yeah, and that's the stuff with the FF7 remake that I would be totally fine with. Just extra stuff that doesn't like totally shit on anything prior.
So, number 2, Vincent and Yuffie's presence in Midgar prior to Meteor Fall.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's iffy. Shulk's orange materia.
That's nitpicky again, but yeah, there is no...
Yeah, the colors of the materia, though, are, once again, to me, like a 0.
Like a trivial thing.
Yeah. Maybe on a 1 to 10, it's like it's a 1.
Yeah. The existence of Omega Weapon. That's not too far-fetched, I don't think. Like, there's...
I never thought that we had all the summons in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, in FF7.
Like, you felt like there was still some out there.
Yeah, or other weapons like they're talking about.
Yeah, it wouldn't be completely unbelievable. But, of course, at the same time, Omega Weapon came out when the planet, its intent was to leave the planet, basically take the life force with it. So you'd think during, Meteor coming down, it might have done that, but...
And number 3, they have the Shinra Mansion named Shinra Manor instead.
Yeah, that one doesn't matter. I kind of like Manor better, because that gives it more of a, this is Shinra's, estate, almost.
Yeah, I don't actually know if that's a contradiction, because maybe the Shinra people call it the Shinra Manor, but other people would call it the Shinra Mansion.
Maybe, yeah.
So I don't know why the Shinra Manor can still be a mansion, and thus the Shinra Mansion as well. I really don't think that's a contradiction.
Yeah, that if anything, that one should be a level 2. Just like a,
yeah,
whatever kind of
You ready
deal.
for the Crisis Core ones? Okay, pure additions, Zach's last name, existence of Benora Village.
Yeah, dumb
Never
apples.
saw that from the airship.
Nope. I would have seen it, too. I looked at every little spot.
The existences of Lazar, Dr. Hollander, and Angeal.
True.
Angeal owning the Buster Sword before Zach.
A new summon called Bahamut Retsu.
Let's see, the new summon ones are... Yeah. Zach coming up with the name for the bar Seventh Heaven, which is one of the dumber additions.
Yeah, it didn't really add anything. Sephiroth specifically spending 7 days in the Shinra Mansion basement.
I thought he was in there for like months.
It felt like forever in 7, yeah, so it did seem a little cheap.
Yeah. The possibility that Lazard is President Shinra's illegitimate son. And Loveless originally being a poem that was adapted into a play. Yeah.
Yeah, it was totally. It was just a play. It was just a little thing in Midgar. That's all it was. And now it's like this big thing.
Yeah.
So materia fusion, these are the tier 2 ones. The in-game ability to fuse 2 pieces of materia together to create a new one.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have been really fun in 7. Yeah. Genesis being present in the Mount Nebel Mako reactor during the mission to Nibelheim, and being the one who tells Sephiroth about his origins.
That one should be a tier 3.
That's a big one. Yeah, that guy didn't exist at all.
I know you had big problems with that one when we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, it bugged me. It bugged me that he was there. I'm like, what in the fuck? Like this?
Yeah, why are they just shoving him in there?
Yeah, like they're like, hey, remember this guy? Do you like this guy? Do you like his music in the end of Dirge? You do, don't you?
Weiss and Nero from Dirge of Cerberus being members of Soldier. And Sephiroth no longer appearing to hold the rank of general. I don't even know.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
All right, so these are the baddies, according to FF7 Citadel. Genova, Project G, which was run by Hollander and was responsible for the creation of Angeal and Genesis. That kind of stuff, that one doesn't
I always
bug me
thought
as
it was
much.
like because Dr. Hollander is a creation of Crisis Core, it did always kind of bug me that it wasn't Hojo. Like, I always thought Hojo was like the only mad scientist in Shinra based on FF7.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Dr. Hollander just becomes the other guy. It's interesting why they did that.
I kind of like that kind of stuff, though, and it doesn't surprise me that they would be fucking around with more experiments within the game. So, the existence of the goddess of the planet.
Yeah.
All right, the poems,
does that mean that the goddess is real?
I guess that's what the game's trying to say, but it doesn't. It's not part of the original canon, so... Sephiroth no longer shutting himself in the inn before disappearing into the mansion. I don't care about that one, really.
Yeah.
Soldiers second class wearing purple uniforms and first class wearing dark navy, blue, black, while in 7, second class wore red and first class wore purple. Who fucking cares about that?
People do. People care, man.
It's clothes.
I know, but like... That was such a big part of FF7 with the flashback and like people taking pictures and shit. It does make like, why didn't they keep the colors the same?
Yeah, I guess that part for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And on top of that, even with the materia thing, even though I don't actually care, if he had a red materia in Kadaj, in that scene with Kadaj, and he's like, President, blah, 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 and then he like shoves it into his arm and whatever. Like, if it was red, it would work just fine, and it would look just fine. So that is just kind of one of those things where it's like, well, you can just keep with the original, and
yeah, it doesn't hurt anything.
It doesn't hurt anything.
Change. Yeah, I guess. I can accept that.
Yeah. So Cloud being seen inside the Shinra building just before Nibelheim, despite him stating in the original game that this was the first time I've ever been to the headquarters.
All right, that one I can see.
That one's a definite contradiction.
For sure, yeah, that one's not okay.
Yeah. So what do you think about the FF7 remake? How do you think it'll handle this kind of stuff?
I don't know. I mean, what are they going to consider the source material? Are they going to consider the retcons the source material? Are they going to consider... I mean, what are they going to do is really the question that's on my mind. Honestly, if they keep it to the level 1 and level 2 stuff that Citadel points out, I don't see there being a problem at all. I mean, you can add to the universe. Obviously, we only explored a certain amount of it within 7 because of the limitations of the PS1 and of... the disk space itself, so I don't mind expanding. It will bother me if they do some just straight up changing and things that are just completely unnecessary that don't need to be
need to be changed.
Yeah, like that they're just perfectly functioning as is. But
well, let me ask you something. I think this is a good way of looking at this. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Are they going to make Final Fantasy VII so that it fits with their 10th anniversary material, or are they going to disregard that as well and just do a remake of Final Fantasy VII that holds up on its own, that can hold up in today's video game market, and maybe they don't give a shit. Maybe they'll retcon other stuff from the 10th anniversary edition. But like the 10th anniversary stuff was based upon that original game, and this is a new version of that original game, and it's not necessarily like part of that series. It's like almost like it's a definite reboot. Like it's its own thing. So maybe it's like you can't have them both. You can't have, because there's going to be contradictions. I'm 100% sure. You can't have the original Final Fantasy VII and then the FF7 remake be the same thing, because they're not.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I bet you they'll probably try to canonize a bunch of the stuff from Dirge and Advent Children and Crisis Core. And honestly, if they do it in a way that's I know it is changing, and I did just say I don't want them to really change what they've done, but if they do it in a way that feels right and feels natural, I don't really care. Like, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It's because they've already done it with these other games. It almost seems like, well, fuck it, why not? You already made this, so it doesn't matter anymore. It didn't matter to you guys before. You wouldn't have done it, and now you're remaking the whole thing. So
let me ask you, would you ever look at the Final Fantasy VII remake, or do you think that people will look at the Final Fantasy VII remake as Final Fantasy VII? Or would it just be the remake? Do people look at Halo Anniversary as the original Halo? Do people look at Final Fantasy IV DS as Final Fantasy IV, as the definite Final Fantasy IV?
I think they'll consider it the remake. Because with the Final Fantasy IV thing, yes, people do consider that Final Fantasy IV. The DS one is Final Fantasy IV. The PSP one is Final Fantasy IV. The PS1 is Final Fantasy IV. The Super NES, could go on. They're all FF4. But with this, I do think the remake distinction will exist because it is different, and enough people have played 7 that this is not necessarily their version of 7. There's going to be a bunch of people where it's their first time playing the game ever, and that to them may be Final Fantasy 7. When they talk about Final Fantasy 7, they could be talking about the remake. But for people like us, people that have played the series for years, I think we're going to definitely just call it the remake, which not to knock it down a level or anything like that, just because we're so used to the original and we have to make that distinction when we're talking to each other. So I think it really does depend. If they do pull in a lot of the new audience, which is one of their goals, as we know, rebooting the storyline and the love of FF7. Those guys, those newbies to it, will probably consider that FF7, and the rest of us will just say, "Oh yeah, the remake," kind of a thing. I don't think it'll necessarily replace it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to look at that, because if it's any other game, it's just kind of like, oh, we're just updating the graphics, and
like Fable Anniversary,
or like Super Mario Brothers on the Wii U or something like that.
Where it's the same thing,
basically the same game, just like with the little extra content, and the areas are a little different.
Yeah, they change a bit up, but
but the gameplay is the same. With this one, the gameplay is going to be different.
Right. If you're good at Smash, you're good at any Smash Bros. At least to some extent. Maybe better at certain versions of it because you played more of those characters, but normally people who are really good at Smash Bros. Are good at every fucking version that comes out, and I can't play against any of them because I suck ass at that game.
Well, the differences are just going to be huge, though. It's because of the gameplay. So that's what partially concerns me, is because like, oh, I played Final Fantasy VII. Let's think down the road. Oh, I played Final Fantasy VII, all 6 episodes or whatever the fuck they're gonna do.
Yeah,
and then you're gonna be like, oh, did you ever play the original? There you go. No.
Yeah, it'll be strange, but
strange world.
It wouldn't be the worst thing unless they do it in a way that's not good, I guess. And then I'll probably try to be like, well, you should try the original out. It's fun. It's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it could ever shake up the world enough that it will be its own thing. That it will be
the 7,
the replacement 7.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would ever happen. There's too many old school people that refuse to accept anything new.
It's very, very rare that the remake is bigger and or better than the original.
Yeah. Whether critically or commercially or any of that.
Yeah,
but
very rare.
Yeah,
it happens.
Terminator 2. There's not very many other.
It happened. Ben-Hur. It was a remake.
Well, it's the same guy though.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good.
They were
good
both
thing to
based
pull from.
upon same a book though, so maybe that doesn't count.
Wasn't it the same director though? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Because there's a guy that
Ten Commandments was the same director.
Okay.
And he did a remake of his own movie, and the remake is the bigger,
yeah, because it's the same,
more
thing,
well-known
just with color,
version,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
and sound.
That is officially
the original one didn't have sound.
That's what we're looking at with the 7 remake. We're looking at the
we're
guys
hoping
who
that
made,
it's the Charlton Heston 10 Commandments.
Yeah,
and not the silent version.
Yeah, we're pulling from the silent version. Same developer, same people in charge. Bring it over to a new generation. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but we'll find out. We'll play it for sure.
Okay.
No doubts
for
there.
Nude Clan.
For Nude Clan, yes.
Clan, we'll play it.
Be very clear on that. Yeah. And that's exciting, though, because we'll finally get Cameron to play a Final Fantasy.
There you go.
Other than Crisis Core.
There you go. All right. Well, Schweiss, shall we get to questions?
Yes.
Questions for us. We would like to hear from you. To morons. Come get us on Twitter. Get on and ask your questions. We'll answer them in we. This is the question segment. Asking you will receive.
Oh, yeah. So we do have a few questions this week. There was one that we forgot to answer from before.
Oh,
and it was important, too. It's a fucking dirge question. So let's listen to this. This is a Skype question.
Hey guys, it's the only guy too lazy to write anything and send it to you. Instead, I'm going to keep just calling you whenever I feel like asking anything. I had a question about Dirge of Cerberus when you guys go through it. When I originally played, I found the game really took from Final Fantasy VII because Vincent seems so ridiculously powerful by the end of Dirge of Cerberus. It kind of makes the fact that he is a not required character in Final Fantasy VII odd. And it kind of makes Cloud seem less important, and I feel it makes Sephiroth seem less important. So I was curious what your guys' take is on that. Do you think that Vincent's too powerful? Does he seem like he's overpowered, or do you feel like him being so strong takes from the weight of the end battle of Final Fantasy VII, or even anything that happened in Crisis Core? let me know. And thanks. Love the show.
I feel like Dirge of Cerberus takes place in the universe that happens when he's part of your final party
Yeah.
at the end of FF7.
So you're okay with the power?
So, I'm okay with the power. I didn't feel necessarily that powerful at the beginning of the game, though.
Yeah, I think we can look at this in a good way, where he was just leveling up to be level 1 in 7. So he's fighting guys that aren't even, they're no level. They have no level. They're just nothing. They're peons. The whole time through Dirge of Cerberus, they may seem tough, but they're only tough in Vincent's perspective because he sucks, right?
Sure.
So by the time you find him in the Shinra Mansion, manor, building, whatever, he's level 1. And before that, with Dirge, he's not.
Well, is it the fact that you can shoot guys in 1 or 2 hits or 3 hits and kill them, and then FF7, and it took a while?
I don't know, maybe.
I'm not sure where the power thing comes from, because with Dirge of Cerberus being a shooter, it's like a completely different type of game.
Yeah, well,
and thus comparing the two seems like something that is a little troubling, kind of hard.
well, I mean, there's that, and the fact that Dirge happens after.
Yeah, it does
FF7.
happen after.
So he's maybe.
So his problem is that, like, because he's an optional character, he wouldn't necessarily be that strong.
Well, he was off doing his optional character stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But and when you watch Advent Children and stuff, it's like all 6 are attacking
Yeah.
Sephiroth. That's another retcon-y thing. But is it really a retcon when it was optional in 7 to have Vincent in your party?
No, and there's a lot of the scenes. I think the reason why they gave Vincent the game is obviously they, like we talked about, they wanted to make a shooter, a Final Fantasy shooter, and they looked at it and they said, okay, who do we have that people care about? So Irvine got crossed off, and that people want more info on. So he also got crossed off, and just like the piece of paper he was on just got so erased that it tore because no one gave a fuck.
Exactly.
But with Vincent, he's a cool character. He's an interesting character, and they don't do anything. There's not really much exclusive content for him within Final Fantasy VII, so I think that's more the reason why they came out with the shooter. And I don't think they were thinking about the levels at all, as far as the...
I don't think they ever think about the levels at all.
Yeah, like, it's just...
Like, how powerful is Yuna at the beginning of 10-2, Schweiss?
Not very.
There
She's
you
shooting
go.
guns, and she's doing, like, no damage.
There
It's
you go.
very little.
There you go. And you could have leveled her up in FF10.
I did.
All the way on the Orin side of the sphere grid,
She's
right?
crazy.
And she could have been, with physical attacks, doing, 50,000 damage, and yet, at the beginning of 10-2, they have to have the character low.
Yeah, it's just scaling. And
That will definitely piss me off in 13 too. They probably do the same thing.
yeah, I'm sure they do. It won't matter, though. The game's going to be balanced enough to where you level up as you go along. So.
Yeah. So you got to sacrifice some, like,
Realism
made
almost.
for game elements for, story. I
Yeah,
guess.
just think of it as a separate universe where you never leveled him up in the first game, or, just think of it in that sort of aspect. Like with 10, like I never used Yuna. I think of it that way when I'm in 10-2. I'm like, I just shelved her where she belongs because she's the main character and I see her all the time anyway. I don't need to see her in battle. So I don't know. Just I'm not too worried about it. They didn't have any of that in mind when they created it, so I didn't feel like it cheapened anything. I didn't even think about that. Like, not at all.
No, neither did I.
And normally I think about weird stuff along those lines, like that no one really normally thinks about. But with that one, I was just like, it's a different game. It's just, here's 7, here's Dirge, here's Crisis Core. It's all like connected yet separate. So
Shinra has a couple questions for us regarding our 10-2 playthrough. He says, heard Joe is going on a hiking trip and won't be able to play 10-2 while he is out. Well, Final Fantasy X-2 is available on the PS Vita and is a great way to play it on handheld while you are out. I played it on my Vita when it came out, he says. Also, I was wondering if you will be reviewing 10-2 The Last Mission, sequel of 10-2. Yes, we will. Which is a roguelike game included on the FF10-2 FF10 HD disc that completes the story after the events of 10.2. So it's a short game, by the way, and if you are reviewing the audio story of F10 2.5, yes, we are doing all of that, Shinru.
Yes.
This has been planned since the beginning.
Beginning of time, even.
Yes. And Caleb, are you going to be going for the platinum in 10.2?
Yeah, I am. Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be mine.
He suggests you follow a guide because it's very particular. Usually people have to play the game twice in order to get 100%.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. It's a pretty short game.
Yeah, so you're okay with playing it twice?
If I have to, yeah. If I've missed something in the first hour, I might restart it.
It's like you can't even like click X through dialogue. You have to let them say the whole piece of dialogue.
I've already done that, though, so hopefully...
Yeah,
it
you
doesn't kill me.
fucked. You fucked,
Well,
Caleb.
that's what Spoonie said, but he reviewed the PS2 version. I don't give a shit what he said.
I don't know, man.
That's just for the 100% get the extra ending. I'm not sure what the trophies are, though. So
I think that's one of the trophies. You got to get the 100%.
Oh, my God.
So have fun with that.
I'll look at it.
You done fucked up.
Hey, man, I don't think we want to get into fucking up on Final Fantasy trophies.
Well, what are you saying, Schwein?
Saying I got 13 plat and you don't.
Look. I didn't know. I know,
but
oh wait, because talking about fucking up on trophies, wasn't there some like Albed primers or something that happened with 10 as well?
there was, yeah.
There was something about that. Yeah,
I do also remember that
that's weird.
only one of us has the platinum for 10 and the other doesn't. Even with the Albed primers.
I'm just saying I didn't have to. I didn't have to add a few hours to the game in order to catch up to the home area.
True, you didn't have to do that.
No.
So if you ever do go back, you can probably complete it in less time.
Yeah.
If you can manage the chocobo race.
So, Schweiss, I'm going to be out backpacking about 6 out of the 7 days of the week.
Okay. You're going to get a day off?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I am going to get a day off.
Only walking for like 8 hours a day. It's nothing.
I'm walking for less than 8 hours a day.
What?
Yeah. It's 8 to 10 miles a day. And it might be more than that.
That's like 3 hours.
It might be more than that near the end.
That's like 3 hours. It may be. You walk like 4 miles an hour normally. I think my
when you're
standard
hiking,
speed,
you're walking like 2.5 to 3. But still.
Is it really that hike? No, I mean the Idaho part probably, but when you get down, no, there's definitely
it's
some
all
parts.
hiking.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, it's just outside of town, so like wondering how crazy it can possibly be.
No. But here's the thing. In order to have that thing charged, not only would I have to bring the PS Vita, which I'm sure weighs... How much does the PS Vita weigh to you? Caleb Craig, you're across the room. Yeah, how much do you think it weighs? Caleb says it weighs 1.5 pounds. How much do you think the charger weighs? Yeah. Caleb says, okay, so I'm looking at 3 pounds of PS Vita equipment that has to be plugged into a thing that has to be converted into the power outlet. Can you charge it via USB, or does it have to charge into a wall outlet?
He doesn't know. Okay.
Okay, he's thinking you can charge it into a USB.
Well, shit. I know there's those little battery packs that you can connect stuff to, USB to you, but that's adding
Everything
more weight.
I add is adding more weight.
Yeah.
So no, I do not want to add the PS Vita onto the wait list. And here's the other thing. Okay, now maybe it can be charged with USB, and I'm sure I could charge it about 50% with a solar battery charger or one of those USB chargers. You're supposed to charge your phone with it, or iPod or whatever. I could charge it about 50%. And I guess that's an option, but I really don't want to add the weight. The other thing is, like, and I might not even buy a solar charger thing. I've been thinking about it, but I'm not sure if I want that either. If I don't do that, that means I charge the PS Vita, I get about 8 hours of 10-2 gameplay, and for the rest of the week, I'm just carrying dead weight with me.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen. And I just want to beat 10-2 in the next 2 weeks, frankly.
And good luck with that.
Thank you. I appreciate your confidence.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's well deserved.
I'm not trying to platinum it. I'm just trying to
Well,
beat it.
so what do you want to have a review out for it before we leave? Before you leave on your trip?
No, I was thinking I would play the game, beat it, come back, and then we'd both do a
Oh,
review.
okay. I was like, Jesus, dude.
After you've
Like,
done the platinum.
fucking-
I have plenty of time to think about the review. Well, I'm out walking.
yeah, that's
for
true.
damn sure.
Maybe get your kanji up and like read the little book you got too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. We got a question here from a guest forum member, by the way. With the release of, let's see, Straight-Faced Ted is his name. With the release of the Nintendo NX next year, do you think FF16 will be the first FF game to make its glorious return to the motherland? Schweiss?
Nope.
Neither do I. I don't think so either. I mean, unless they really try to up the graphics. I think they're just trying to catch up.
Well, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to have higher graphics than the PS4. That's what they're saying. But they're releasing the PS4.5, that horse shit that's coming out, to better handle the VR gaming.
Right.
So I don't think 16 is going to be on Nintendo's thing. I just don't see it happening.
I'm saddened by the future of game consoles that I keep hearing about. So I think Sony is possibly thinking of not releasing PlayStation 5, but instead just like updating consoles rapidly over and over again. So you remember when Xbox 360 did, where they always had like different versions of the Xbox 360 and they were always getting like constantly better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember stuff like that.
It's almost like they're going for something like that.
It's basically a computer at this point is what it is. You're getting upgraded parts for your console, which I'm fine with, honestly. It doesn't bug me too much.
I kind of like having the thing for the 7 years, right?
Yeah, it is.
And then the new thing for the 7 years.
Yeah.
I like that.
But that also, that stymies...
It feels right. It feels solid.
Yeah, that can stymie advancement, though. I mean, if you think about it, the video gaming is always changing. Everything's getting better. Technology is advancing. 7 years from now, the console is going to be a complete piece of shit.
That's true.
And yeah, they'll come out with a new one, and that one will be good for a year, a couple years, maybe 3 years. And then after that, it's going to be subpar compared to any PC that you would ever build.
I feel like Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony should just get together and be like, okay, let's decide on a length of time. And this is just how we're going to do it. And no one's going to come up with a console that's going to beat us, we think. And so, I mean, unless Apple decided to get into the console war, which would be very interesting.
Yeah, that'd be odd.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to really touch it. It's not worked out too well in the past for other consoles. It's kind of just the big three now.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think... I mean, well, I guess it could. I guess 15 could have a port that could take it to the NX, but I'm not sure about 16. Because whenever 16 comes out, you know, let's see, how long was 15 in development? So, like almost 10 years now?
Yeah.
So in 10 years when 16 comes out, well, you know, we'll see. We'll see what like consoles are up and whether the NX is like the thing at that time.
Yeah, let's see what Shinra said. He answered it here. He says, Nintendo consoles after the GameCube don't really have high specs like their competition, and the FF series is always going for the highest graphics and stuff. So unless Nintendo's new console is like that, then he doubts it. So he's kind of feeling the same way as us. Then Straightface said that the rumor suggests it's going to have more power than the PS4 or Xbox One. Maybe our forum news hounds can dig deeper. Ooh. How about that, Shinru? No, he says basically what we said. Yeah, that it might be better than the PS4, but they are coming out with the 4K. So who knows how long that'll actually hold true, if it's true in the first place. So I don't know. So we do have an emailed question here. This is like the first time I think this has ever happened for us.
FFfanatics123@gmail.com.
That's right. Send him over if you don't want to be on the forums. This one's from Karskurt. He says, hey guys, just listening to your 10 part 2 review, and I believe 100% that those minigames they fucking sucked. I had to stop with the game before beating all of the Dark Aeons because I could never get Titus's Celestial Weapon or Wakka's. I couldn't master Blitzball, nor could I get the goddamn Chocobo under 0 seconds.
That one I could not get. I could do the Blitzball.
Yeah, but you guys said that
after much trial and error and hating the game and being really pissed off. You just have to get the right players. Just look up a guide.
Yeah,
there
no,
you go.
It's fucking easy once you get that. So, but he said once that we said there's not going to be any more turn-based RPGs in this series at the very least. Have you guys heard the rumors that 16 will be turn-based?
I feel like we made those rumors, but we were spitballing 16 ideas and be like, oh, it's return to turn-based, but maybe that's just
I haven't heard anything
that's going on.
Anything else? The moment
I haven't heard a single fucking thing about 16. That's what I haven't heard.
The moment we do, though, you bet your sweet ass we're going to have an episode on it, and we're going to talk about everything that's leaked or mentioned or hinted at or whatever the fuck.
I do wonder, do you think they'll wait until the next E3 before announcing 16?
Probably, yeah.
Probably June, July, or whenever that is.
Yeah, I don't think they'd rush it before then.
Jesus.
I honestly still stand by that, though. I don't think turn-based is really gonna do it for them anymore, especially if 15 does well. Like, why go back?
Not unless, if 15 doesn't do well,
then maybe
they're gonna put 16. They're gonna do what they did with Dragon Quest. They're gonna put 16 on a mobile device,
and we're gonna be done with the series.
And then it'll be basically back to basics.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad to think about that, huh?
Yeah, it is. Like the end. It's a depressing thought, but I mean, we can't consider it that time yet, though. 15's not out, but I don't know. If 15 does do well and the battle system is well received, I don't think we're going to go back.
Do you think they'll announce FF16 this E3 or next E3?
Probably next if they do.
I don't know. Caleb Craig, what do you think? Considering how close 15 is? He's going to say next E3. So this July. No. So, the E3 after. Okay. 2017.
All right. Are you going this year?
I'm going this year.
All right. Well, fuck. I guess we'll see.
Okay. We will see in July.
All right, guys. So we do have one of our favorite segments here.
It's number 10.
A very, very tasty correction.
Shure SM58 microphones, $200. Adobe Audition software for mixing episodes, $30 a month. Libsyn hosting fees, $20 a month. A weekly FF podcast with great listeners, priceless. There are some things money can buy. For every other nitpicking motherfucker on the planet, there's the correction segment.
All right, so this one was from our Crisis Core review. This is from Nowhere Guy, a participant on the forum. He says, hi, in Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII episode, Joe and Caleb say that leveling is completely random. I think I heard that one of them got like 3 level ups in a few minutes. I've never had that kind of situation, and I smell BS. Guys, FF Wikia says, though it appears that leveling up is random, it is not entirely so. Zack does gain XP for defeating enemies, but it is a hidden value. The DMW will not line up 3 7s until Zack earns enough XP for it to do so. Once Zack has enough XP, the DMW has a chance to line up 3 7s, but it is not a guarantee. For this reason, the player cannot simply level up by letting the reels spin over and over. They are still required to defeat enemies to earn XP. That doesn't disprove anything that we said, though. No. All right, so he says another thing is about SP points. They say that those are useless, and this is 100% incorrect. SP points are used for materia fusion. Incidentally, the episode never touched on materia fusion.
Yes, we did.
Love the show. Yeah, we talked
about it. It might have been on the episode before the review, but we did talk about how materia fusion was like not... We weren't using it. The thing that bugged me about materia fusion was that you had to have your materia leveled all the way up in order for a materia fusion to be useful. Otherwise, it would just spit out basically what you put into it. So here's the thing about that XP being random, and you do need XP in order to be able to level, but the spinny motherfucker is still random.
Yeah.
As it said in that thing. So yes, I had earned enough XP for that fucking hour that I got no level ups and was just grinding. I had earned enough XP, right, that at some point, finally the gods descended, like gave the gift upon me that I was able to finally like have the chance of getting the 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Or the like the 3 level ups in just like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do need the XP in order for the chance to be opened up, but it's still chance. And that chance means that it might not happen for an hour. And then it might just suddenly happen over and over again. So no, I don't think your correction was that much of a correction.
No, the second part, I guess, yeah, the materia fusion thing. We did say SP was useless. You got us there. But I myself, I know I leveled up at least twice, maybe 3 times. I'm not sure, but I know for sure it was twice in one of those optional missions. And those things are not very long. We're talking 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I leveled up twice.
Yeah, and there's no way you got enough XP.
No, there's not. It
Just
has
in
to
between
be
those.
Yeah, it's got to be the random.
So it's like there's a buildup of XP, and you're just like waiting for it to relieve
Right.
some of that XP.
Right, there's certain tiers of XP that you need to reach to have the ability to get a level. But if I reach 4 of those tiers and only get 1 level, there's still 3 levels out there that the game owes me, so to speak, that I will eventually cash in on sometimes in quick succession.
Okay,
like
so
you.
this is how I said it more succinctly in the post. Said, we most certainly did bring this up, if not on that episode, one of the ones leading up to the Crisis Core review. Yes, you can hoard XP and then randomly allow the level up. If you have the XP for 3 level ups, the game will still only level you up 1 level at a time when it randomly decides to give you the level. I know this because it happened to me.
Right, you then went on to say, I didn't use the materia fusion, really. I looked up the recipes, and most of the useful ones needed fully leveled materia as a base, and I was not willing to put in the time for all of that. I don't know about Caleb. Glad you liked the show. So yeah, I didn't really put much time into it either. I looked at a few of them, and I just didn't think I needed it, honestly.
There were
Like,
some
it
good
wasn't,
ones, like there's the HP+++ or whatever, but you still need like the other.
I think I got that anyway.
You need the other stuff fully leveled, and I was like, I don't want to sacrifice this stat boost from this materia.
You know what? I might have actually fused those to get the +++.
Did ya?
That sounds familiar,
Okay.
yeah. I didn't use it. I did not utilize the feature. I used it occasionally, but I didn't find it exceptional. Or
See, I tried it once with 2 things in order to get whatever, and I had misread the page that had all the information for all the fusions. And yeah, I was a little mad when it just like popped out one of the materia that I had put in. And I was like, what the fuck? So yeah.
I could see that. But yeah, no, thanks for
Not too happy with that system. I mean, it's an interesting system, and certainly if you want to use, I'm sure if you were doing all the missions over and over and over again, yeah, that would be perfect time to utilize all the materia fusion.
Yeah.
But, you know, I only did as many missions as was necessary in order to beat the game.
All right, fair enough. But thanks for the correction, though.
Yeah.
We appreciate the interaction.
Keep sending them in. I'm sure I say things wrong all the time.
As we all. So we do have a few reviews this week. So
Woohoo!
I say we dive into some of them.
Oh, dude.
I do.
iTunes reviews. iTunes reviews.
All right, so we got 4 iTunes from the US of A and 1 from the UK.
All right. I'll start it out here. This one is titled, I Enjoy Grinding, ... A 5-star review from Apocalypse. Took me 6 months to catch up on the podcasts. Thanks for giving me this entertainment and something to look forward to. I can now say that I achieved the Platinum Trophy for this podcast. I will continue to listen and download every week.
So you listen to the commentaries too, then?
We must. All the time and effort you put into the podcast is appreciated by your fans. Team Schweiss. Yes.
Fuck you.
The power.
Fuck your hashtag Team Schweiss.
It's all right. I'll give you the
You
fun
want
one.
to check that on Twitter, see if anyone has posted under hashtag Team Schweiss?
I hope they have.
The problem is that they'll probably just join your side, so they won't put hashtag Team de Gaulier because they don't know how to spell my fucking name.
Yeah, mine's pretty crazy too. So.
Yours is crazy, but like after you got it, right? Like it's yeah. Why do we have to have like these crazy German and French names?
I don't know. It's just how it is.
I don't know. Okay, I got this one from AJ is Stupid. He says, love it. 5 stars. Hey guys, my brother brought me into the show, and I am loving going through the archives for some excellent FF content. Loved all the game reviews and now digging deeper into the Summons and Weapons podcast. Love the show. Keep it up, guys. Thanks for everything.
Nice. Thank you very much, AJ is Stupid. You're probably not nearly as dumb as you lead on. So that would help. All right, so this one is titled Ultima Spell Material by Taku Amazuki, a viewer on our Twitch feed. You hear that? That was the sound of the iTunes review song, which means we don't get to hear the no iTunes review song. Very nice. Anywho, this podcast is an excellent listen and deserves the attention. These guys fairly interact with their listeners via their websites, forums, and put effort into improving an already awesome podcast.
Thank you.
They form good opinions about the FF games they've played, which is all by now, golf clap. And not only praise, but even fault their favorite titles. The only criticism I can think of is something they've already been told repeatedly, in that they have to make sure they're saying something right. It's not horrible, and it's often not important to the overall review they give, but they goof up, which is fine. Don't let that turn you away. Instead, go to their correction segment on the forums and get called a nitpicker.
There you go.
Generally fun to listen to, even if you're not a hardcore fan. It's cool that they talk about Final Fantasy, but I'll admit, I like listening to them because it's two friends talking about something that they like, and sometimes even other random stuff.
So sweet.
Similar to Game Grumps. Give these guys a listen. Just grab an episode where they do a review, and you'll see what's up. Although, if you pick up the first one, please be understanding. If it's not your thing, try Nude Clan, and if for whatever reason you want to hear some crazy, crazy stuff, pick up Super Sexy.
Wow, thank you, Taku.
I agree. Yeah, pick that shit up.
Do you think he gave us the correction on Crisis Core?
You know what? He might have been. He started watching me when I played Crisis Core on Twitch.
Oh, okay,
so
there you go.
it could be him.
Yeah, maybe.
Da, da, da.
If not, thanks guys for both of your stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Great podcast, says Penguin. Penguin Mage? Oh, Penguin Mage. Okay.
Yes.
Was previously listening to Union. We don't speak their name.
What is this union?
Since it was at the top. Not anymore, by the way. Not for the last couple weeks. It has not been at the top. Not We aren't at the top.
Don't.
But someone else is at the top.
Don't confuse it with us. But,
since it was at the top. And while I don't hate it, I much prefer this podcast as far as entertainment factor. The two hosts sound like they actually want to be doing the podcast, except when we're hungover, and offer up good reviews and segments. Often find myself laughing out loud at some of the topics and comments covered. Really pushes time away at work. Great job, guys. Keep it up. You're welcome. You're welcome for taking that time away. You'll never get it back, though.
no, it's true. It's gone forever.
Okay.
So we do have one. This is our UK review. It's titled My New Favorite Podcast from Machete
Oh,
Facelift.
he spelled favorite like a guy from the UK.
Yeah, he did. Adorable. I started listening to this podcast when they interviewed a Nero.
Hey, where's your accent? Come on, Schweiss.
I started listening to this podcast when they
Cockney.
interviewed a
Let's go.
Nero from LBR and was hooked in by the funny jingles and the host's witty banter.
Yeah.
Now, I have caught up with the entirety of their back catalogue, and I can safely say it is my new favorite podcast.
Favorite.
The hosts are hilarious and do a great job of creating their own style and brand. The episodes are paced well in succinct segments divided by aforementioned jingles.
The aforementioned jingles.
The review and spotlight episodes are obvious highlights, with the host's love for the series really shining through. My favorite moment was Joe's one-star review rant. Had me in stitches throughout. Yes. All round, a well-produced, funny, and incredibly entertaining podcast throughout. Keep up the good work, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Machete Facelift. It's very,
Seems Machete Facelift. Yes.
very heartfelt there. So
Yeah, he could be It's just UK, so he could be like Scottish.
Yeah, he could
Welsh,
be anything. Yeah, he's pissed now.
Yeah, he's all pissed off. Seriously, thank you for the review.
Yeah, we really dig it. So
It was really good. All right, well, Schweiss.
I don't think we have anything else. I mean, I don't have a question for us to you, or do you have one?
Well, let me think here. Okay. What retcon in the Final Fantasy series, and it could be something that like 10-2 did to 10, or one of the FF7s did the FF7, or maybe there's another sequel that we don't know about to something that we don't know about.
That did something that we don't know.
What retcon pisses you off the most in the Final Fantasy series? That's my question from us to you. Sorry if there's no jingle right now.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So jump onto the forums. That's ultimafinalfantasy.com. Answer that question, and we will read it next week.
We will. Schweiss, let's do some plugs before we end.
All right. So tweet me and the show at UFF Podcast.
You can tweet me and sort of the show at Joseph DeGollier.
Like our page on Facebook. It's facebook.com/ultimafinalfantasy. There, I will let you guys know when I plan on streaming. I try to do it a couple days in advance if I don't mention it on the episode.
Speaking of streaming, twitch.tv/Ultima Final Fantasy is where you find that. You can support us on Patreon. Patreon.com for $1 a month gives you the episodes as soon as we're done mixing them. UltimaFinalFantasy.com, Schweiss. And, caller number, 385-204-3921.
Yeah, we really like the voice questions. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Taking the burden away, one thing at a time.
Guys, make sure you go check out Nude Clan, really. If you haven't checked it out, it's a great show.
Yeah, it's awesome. We really love doing it. So.
Really amazing. All right, well, I think that's it, Schweiss.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my God, there's the ending music. I guess it is it.
We'll see you guys next week.
Enjoy the grind.
This has been another production of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. The show was produced by Joseph DeGollier and Caleb Schweiss, with music and editing by Joseph DeGollier.
The guy who does all the
and
work.
Clips from their respective authors, of course. You can get all of our episodes as well as our Let's Plays at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can also contact us on Twitter at UFF Podcast, as well as our contact page on our website. Be sure to subscribe and review our podcast. Your reviews may get read on the show.
It will get
And
read
look
on the
forward
show.
to the next
Not just
episode
me.
of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast.